Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is Kim Sites on another Victory Sunday. Victory Sunday, like I always say, y'all gonna get the most raw and uncut filter version of me, y'all. Where I just pretty much just talk about sports because if you know me, man, you know I love sports, y'all. You know I love talking about football, basketball, and heck, I might even throw a little bit of baseball in there every once in a while, even NASCAR, but I'm not gonna throw NASCAR in there today just because, hey, I ain't feeling NASCAR. But yeah, on Victory Sundays, y'all, I just get a weekly review. And on the first topic of Victory Sunday, I just want to talk about is the Darren Peterson situation. If you don't know by now, Darren Peterson was killing against Oklahoma against Oklahoma State, which he was just pretty much balling out. When I was looking at the stats, I was like, damn man, he was damn near playing against Oklahoma State by himself. And you were thinking like he was better go for a big night, y'all. You would think he'd probably go for like 40 or something like that. But then we check the second half stats, you're like, yo, what the hell happened? Like he was killing. And then when you look back at it, it turns out he sat out in the second half. He only played in 3 minutes in the second half. You're like, damn, this dude had it going crazy. But then, like, when you look at sports talking shows, they're just talking about it. Like I seen on First Take, it was like, yo, like this might possibly mess up his draft stock, or like they question his love for the game. And that's what a few people been talking about. Like, yo, do you really love the game and stuff like that? And I just say this as a coach who coach youth sports and stuff like that, and coach high school sports. I just think like with the youth and stuff like that, y'all. I think like being honest with you, I think like they got too many options at a certain point. And I'm saying that to say like if somebody gonna take it offensive or some shit, and even my young players they're gonna take it offensive or some shit, just take it offensive. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is they have too many options. Like yo, like it it's like yo, they could go like if they don't want to play football, they could go do another. They could go be on Instagram. If they don't want to be on Instagram, they could go. They could go make money some other way. They could just do. They just got too many things going on. Where it's just like to me, in my personal opinion, like sports is not always a priority where it come down to like how it used to be for us and stuff like that. And you can see it like even with the coaches, man. Like you can see like damn, they be stressed out. These are college coaches, man. It's been a bad year for them, man. It seemed like in college, like coaches are getting fired left and right, and now you got coaches crashing out in the conference in the conferences and stuff like that. Like the Kansas State coach, I heard another coach he was crashing out. I forgot where it was at, but even Bill Self, who coached Darren Peterson at Kansas, he just looked lost. He was like, bro, I didn't even know he was gonna sit out the rest of the second half and shit like that. But yeah, man, it just seemed like with the youth, man, they don't have the same love that we had. And I just think that just comes down to the options that they have and like even with the business and stuff. Like they just not into it like how we used to be. All right, on another topic, we're gonna be brief. Tyreek Hill, yes, y'all can see he was released by the Miami Dolphins this week. To me, I feel like the team that he should go to is he should go back home. He should go back to Kansas City. And the reason why I think he should go back to Kansas City, y'all, is because he had a devastating injury. And with that devastating injury, you should just want to go back to somewhere where you familiar with. And I just think like going back to Kansas City, like where he already know like how things are gonna play out as far as like the rehab and stuff and even the playbook and stuff. Like it's just gonna be an easier transition. It's not gonna be an expectation for him to be the Tyreek Hill of old when he was, killing stuff right then and there. It's gonna be like, okay, we could bring him along slowly and let him be ready by December. And hopefully, I'm not even gonna say hopefully because I don't even fuck with the Kansas City Chiefs, but you know what I'm saying? Like if like but hopefully like they playoff contention at that time period for them to be ready for that. And so like, I just think like for him to come along slowly and come along at his own pace, you don't have to rush his rehab and rush himself back into game form. I think Kansas City is the best option for him. Um, Next topic, y'all. I'm pretty sure, like, if y'all me, I didn't even know the All Star Weekend was going to occur so early. Like the shit started at, like I think like at 3 o'clock and ended at 4. And the thing of it is the All Star Weekend was in L.A. and y'all know like that's Pacific. And I'm talking about it ended at 7 o'clock around here on the East Coast time. Then that shit ended about like 3-4 o'clock on the West Coast time. So they had the whole day to themselves. But yeah, man. I didn't even know about it. I found out like like I seen on my YouTube like yo they said Dame Lillard won a 3 pointer competition. I'm like yo this shit got to be a hoax or something like that or whatever. But yeah man if y'all don't know if y'all didn't see the slam dunk competition I thought it was mid at best. And I don't think it was the worst, but I'm trying to come to figure out what was the worst slam dunk competition because the other two guys like not Johnson, but Hayes and Richardson, even though Richardson tried, they had some embarrassing moments, and I think their lows was so low that it kind of offset like not necessarily like a great performance, but a pretty good performance by the other two, Brian and Johnson, just because it was just like, yo, you see Jackson Hayes, he did a damn game dunk in a damn slam dunk competition. Like, I'm not saying anybody could do that, but a pro should be able to do that shit. And then we seen Richardson, he damn near had a concussion. You had goddamn on people. We was more worried about his health than we was more worried about him slam dunking and shit like that. It was just crazy how like that slam dunk competition turned out. But then you seen Kashad Johnson, he was dancing and shit. He tried to put on the show, which he did pretty good. Brian, he had some pretty good dunks. I thought he was going towards the end winning, but then that last dunk, man, he just couldn't do it. He couldn't flush it in. Pause. But yeah, he couldn't flush it in, and it seemed like the stand up competition at best was mid. Just my suggestion for the stand up competition. If we're not gonna get the All Star, man, can we at least get some like rookie guys or like 2 year or 3 year guys who got a pretty good name for themselves, who got a good buzz around their name, just to make it more entertaining. Like, hey, you got to have at least a minimum of at least either a whole like a million followers or something like that, or you got to have at least a minimum 10 to 15 points to get into the stand-up competition. Like if those two guys, Brian and Johnson, was in the stand-up competition and it was just regular guys, you had two big names, I don't think nobody would really care too much. But for them two to be the main two guys, I think it made it more mid than what it was. You know what I'm saying? So that was that. Last but certainly not least, the All Star game itself. I think like people want to say like the All Star Weekend is back and stuff like that. Every year, it's like it has like a high haters where it has extreme highs, and then like it just go back down. Then they try to change it up again, and I think like don't change up the format. It went back to like how it was being competitive, but in my opinion, like they made it competitive just because let's be real, like we Americans, basketball started here with the names of Hall of Fame and all that stuff. And I don't think the boys wanted to lose to the internationals because you could tell like they was going hard against them. They went at them. They was going at them. Like they was like, there's no way in hell we was gonna let the international team beat us. I don't care even if they did have a few technically Americans on the team. It was like there was no way in hell they was gonna gonna lose to them. But when it came down to it, the OGs, man, they ran out of film. They ran out of fumes in that last game. Like man, they played 3 straight games. They was tired. They was gassed. And then it turned into that same old sorry ass. I hate to say it, All Star game. Like the first 3 games was great, entertaining, but that last game, bro, let's be real, bro. If you was me, I was like, man, you turned that shit off in the last one. You was just like, all right, only thing I want to see now is the MVP, and which it was Anthony Edwards, who he put on the show. He talked his shit. He did him. He was Anthony Edwards. And that's what you gotta like about Anthony Edwards. He just gonna be him. He's raw and uncut. And, he don't want to be the face of the league. He the face of the block. And that's what I like about Anthony Edwards. He gonna always be him. And I actually watching the Anthony Edwards game right now. They playing Dallas. They up by 15 and shit. But yeah, Anthony Edwards a dog, whatever. But Kawhi balled out too. But the only thing about it is, it's like how long Kawhi gonna ball out till he put in that PTO? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, y'all. But with all that being said, y'all, this is Kim the Sites. Victory Sunday. Out this bitch.